back to Judy's Keto Kitchen, Keto Naturopath Kitchen. Today I have a real treat for you. It's chewy chocolate cookies. I saw this recipe and it wasn't a keto recipe, and I thought I can make that keto, so I keto-fied it for you. They're very chewy, very chocolatey. As a matter of fact, it's almost too chocolatey for me, but they were so good, I wanted to show you how to do it. I made these a couple of days ago, and we are trying not to use a lot of granular sweetener. The only granular sweetener we can use is xylitol. I prefer stevia. So I made them with stevia, and instead of the bulk for the granular sugar, I put in some egg white powder, and oh my gosh, they were awful. They were hard as a rock. You couldn't even bite into them. So I made them again with granular sweetener, and I used Boca Sweet, which I've never used, but I've heard people using it, and I thought, okay, I'll try it. That was a disaster because the cookies came out fine. However, I had the same effect that erythritol has on me. Headaches, heart palpitations. Carl tasted a cookie and immediately went and fell asleep on the couch. I knew that because he started snoring. He doesn't normally snore. So today I'm making it with xylitol because that's the only granular sweetener we can use. So I'm sorry. When I mentioned about Carl, he's making faces at me. So I have in here 34 grams of egg white. I used the carton egg white. That's about 1.5 egg whites. You can, if you're using real eggs, use 1 or 2 egg whites. And you're going to beat it up till it's frothy. You're not going to do it to a stiff peak. It's just going to get frothy. And you can do this with a fork. I just think these egg beaters are amazing. I remember growing up, we always had these egg beaters, and I'm like, why don't they sell egg beaters anymore? So I saw this one at Target, and I bought it, and I absolutely love it. It's OXO, so I will see if Amazon has it and put in a link for Amazon if I find it, which I'm sure I will. So you just beat this till it's frothy. It's starting to get a little bubbly, so right now I'm going to add my teaspoon of vanilla. This is the vanilla extract that I made myself with vanilla beans, and I'm not sure if this one's with vodka or bourbon, but it's good. So a teaspoon of vanilla, mix it frothy. As you can see, it's frothy, so just right. So now I used the original recipe, used 1.5 cups of coconut sugar, and that's way too much sweetener. I always cut things in half. So I used it with like 3/4 cup of granular sweetener, which I have xylitol, and that was 120 grams. And I'll tell you why I weighed it too, because you're going to powder it. You're going to make it powdered. So I put it in a coffee grinder and powdered it up. This way, if you have powdered sweetener that you like, you can just measure out 120 grams and you're perfect. And 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, which I measured out to be 44 grams. I like the Valrhona cocoa powder, and I need to buy some more because this is my 3rd batch. My first batch was a disaster and I had to throw it out. So here we have the powdered sweetener and the cocoa powder. And, adjust it. You can adjust the sweetener if you like more, if you like less. I like less. Actually, I put in a little less. And the cocoa powder, as I said, this was really chocolatey. So you just mix this up until it becomes a batter. Make sure all the cocoa powder is mixed in. Now, you can add chocolate chips to this. If you're going to add chocolate chips, make sure they're either semi-sweet or dark chocolate. My favorite chocolate chips are Bake Believe. Yes, they have erythritol in them, but for some reason, they do not impact me negatively. So I love Bake Believe. However, as I said, this is very chocolatey anyway, and I did put chocolate chips in some of mine, and it was too chocolatey for me. So what you could do is less cocoa powder and put chocolate chips in. But if you love chocolate, go for it. I used to love chocolate, but the longer I'm keto, the less I like sweet stuff. So I have a 1.5 tablespoon cookie scoop. You don't need a cookie scoop. You can just put like a tablespoon of dough. They will spread. Do not put them too close together. Well, it looks like I'm only going to get 6 cookies. Last time I did add some chocolate chips and I got 9 cookies. So you're going to put this in a 350-degree oven for 12 to 14 minutes. So I'll put them in the oven and we'll be back to show you what it looks like. Well, the cookies are out of the oven and I did what I told you not to do, which is put them too close together. I didn't realize it was only going to make 6, or I would have spaced them out further, but they're still going to taste good. Now, you let them cool in the pan for 10 minutes and then you remove them to a wire rack, a cookie cooling rack, and let them cool completely. Carl yesterday took one right from the pan and it was hot. But these are the cookies I made yesterday. So these two have chocolate chips in them and these do not. And I'm going to see how well they were in an airtight container, so I'm going to see how well they store. And as I said, they were delicious yesterday, and since I only make 6 cookies, if there are 2 or 3 of you around, they'll go in one day. But I'm going to try it. These are so fudgy. They're absolutely delicious. Good thing about this recipe, it doesn't make a lot. So if you're just craving something chocolatey, whip up a batch, and even if it's just for you, it's 2 or 3 days of enjoyment. So enjoy.